Hey, welcome to Squawking1200. Getting ready to fire up the, guess what, the Airfoil Lab Cessna 172. Beacon on, avionics off, fuel pump on. Get that fuel flow to go, count to like a couple seconds. That's usually plenty. 1/8 of an inch. Check the surroundings. You'll clear prop out the windows. And there she goes. Nice. Mixture in. Alright, we are using X-Plane 11.1. Apparently it's all official. So I got a little adjustment on that window. I'm going to shut this window. Alright. We're going to be doing a little flight sim economy trip to Boston. We're going to do a little VOR navigation. Our first nav point looks like 206. We're picking up where we left off at in Vermont, Kilo Echo Foxtrot. Kilo? KEFK? I think that's where we're at. Waiting for the temperature to come up. We have plenty of fuel on board. Vacuum's good. Amps are good. Let's check the brakes. Alright, brakes are good. Let's check our flaps. Coming down symmetrically, those look good. Up, up, and up. We're going to see if we can. We're going to box the controller. We'll get the outside view from this one. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Hey, why are we moving? Left, right, left. Brakes on. Shift 9, back in the cockpit. Back on the brake. Alright, the breakers are all in. Those look good. Just getting warmed up here. Let's see, set the takeoff for trim. Check the cell phone. I had a little airport run this morning. Getting some updates from the fiance's trip to Florida. Alright, plug in the headset. That makes things a little bit more manageable and tolerable in the cockpit. With GPS mode, we're just going to go standard mode. We filed a flight plan with Pilot to ATC. And I don't think it's going to kick in until we get airborne. So let's take a look at the frequencies. 122.5. I have my windows rearranged slightly different, so I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit more than what I typically am. The unofficial name of this is Northeast Kingdom. Alright. Looks like we got calm wind. See if we can pick up the weather.
Newport State weather.
Newport State.
Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 19,000 scattered, 34,000 scattered. Temperature 13. Dew point -10. Altimeter 2992.
Standard pressure 2992. Let's make our adjustments here. 2992. There we go.
Newport State.
I'm gonna flip that.
More than 10.
let's see, get this thing to jive. We need it to be at about 250. Probably check that against the GPS once we get going.
Scale 686, proceed direct to top, flight level 350. 60, landing flight level 350, direct stop.
I'm going to see if I can pick up flight following with off the bat hair request. To open flight plan right now.
Open flight plan from Kilo Echo Foxtrot Kilo to Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra at 1648 Zulu Cessna 12 Bravo.
Cessna 12 Bravo, please say request again with departure and destination ICAO codes.
Let's try it with this one.
Open flight plan for Cessna 12 Bravo from Kilo Echo Foxtrot Kilo to Kilo Bravo
Hey, Magic Norm.
Oscar Sierra
Welcome
at
to the chat.
1649 Zulu.
Cessna 12 Bravo, please say request again with
Yeah,
departure
this is
and
a
destination ICAO codes.
I'm not sure this thing's going to be happy. Either way, we're just going to use it for background chatter. We'll flip over to the Unicom 122.8. Magic Norm, we're doing a flight sim economy flight using the X-Plane non-beta, non-release candidate, the full official release 11.10. Flying the Airfoil Labs 172. Looks like we're going to, we have World Traffic 3 cranked up, so we got a bunch of world traffic coming in here. Take a look and see if I can find this aircraft. I can hear it. We'll go for it. Oh, well, welcome. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Little hesitation right there. So let's see, what did I say? Newport State traffic, Cessna Skyhawk November 212 Bravo backtaxing to 36 Newport State. I'm going to back taxi here, and we're going to take off. I already loaded up the Flight Sim Economy. I don't know if you've used that before, if you know, because I could review it. Somebody's going to spawn right in front of me. I watch a lot of YouTube almost every day. I try to pick up a little bit. Try to pick up something. Here comes somebody going to land right over my head. Someday, World Traffic 3 is going to work with Pilot to ATC, and we're going to have more magical experience. Come on, land over my head. That's kind of cool looking. Got another guy landing. He's busy airport up here in rural Vermont. I do have the rep mod. I kind of bounce back and forth a little bit between the two. I got the rep mod a couple weeks ago. What I really like about this one is the interior. It just looks a lot better. So let's see, I'm on 3.6, pretty much close to north, that's check. Throw on some visibility, throw on some landing lights. We'll do just a quick check of the magnetos. Each of those, the default versus the, with the rep versus the Airfoil Labs, each one kind of has its own little pros and cons. You know, I really like how the rep keeps a much more accurate record. And we're going to rotate. Trying to find my 74 knots here. Right there, there we go. I don't know if I can report airborne, if this will... I'm going to give the position report and see if it picks up.
Newport State at 1,400 feet at 1653 Zulu.
I like that part too. That's
Bravo Roger. Have you at Newport State at 1,400 feet at 1653 Zulu?
and that's not exactly what I want to do. I want to activate the leg, but this will do. Newport traffic, Cessna November, Skyhawk 212 Bravo, making a right departure, Newport State.
Cessna 12 Bravo, this is Unicom, go ahead.
Hey Unicom, how you doing today? We're doing nothing but a little flying. Try to ident this, not the hula girl. We're pretty much right on the radial that we need to be. What is that, a little wind gust right there? Landing light off. Yeah, I guess everything's kind of a trade-off. Better GPS, better better visuals. Not quite time to lean that yet. Almost though. Turn this thing off. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I want to keep that one on, but turn it off up there. Flying and talking and reading the chat. So we can kind of follow along here on the on our moving map from pilot to ATC. Someone's underneath. Be nice if it called out a little bit bigger on the radar. Alright, let's see, we can go 5,500. Set this baby up here. Click on him. Autopilot. We're going to go nav mode. And let's see, what's our rate of climb? This is where I wish I had actual knobs. 700. And we'll arm that and see how that thing goes. We can start to lean a little bit. Conserve a little fuel. Using ortho scenery. New England, I believe I have mostly zoom level 17. I just discovered an aggravating thing this morning. I've been trying to work on my Seattle scenery. I haven't been able to get overlay. Driving me crazy. So here is an overlay tip. So my X-plane is here. When you go to global scenery for the file to sniff at, and you're in Seattle, because the demo area is under this part of the Earth nav data, that's where you have to point it to. Because if you point it to global scenery, like most of the tutorials suggest, there is no file to sniff at. You don't get overlay. So if you're going to recreate some Seattle, demo area, that's where that's hidden. Yeah, much to my surprise when I kind of made that realization, or I put 2 and 2 together and said, that sort of makes sense, but it was definitely aggravating. So that is the Squawking1200 free tip of the day. Let's see, everything's looking good. Temperatures are good, oil pressure's good, vacuum's good, amps look good, fuel flow is reasonable. Might be able to back off a little bit. We're at cruise now. See if we can bring the EGT temperature up. Let me see. Hey, Sparky Online, welcome to the chat. Flying the Airfoil Labs 172 today. I'm doing a little flight sim economy. I also have X-Plane Realistic, which I don't know if you guys can hear the crazy amount of wind noise that's coming through my headset, but I have not been able to. Where is it? It is under Lua, macros, X-Plane Realistic. Alright, so if we want to go that didn't seem to really reduce the wind all that much. Wind. I don't know if this needs a restart. It's better. It's not killing me in the headphones anymore. It's still seemingly overly loud. So if the ground wind doesn't do anything. Slow roll, squeaky, anticipation, nose wheel. Could be gear drag that's causing that. But no, it definitely seems like a wind noise rather than a rumble. Not going to worry about it. We'll deal with it. So now we're just going to sit back and enjoy the scenery. Excuse me 1 second. Not sure what I ate that's making my throat all phlegmy there, but sorry about that. The heading bug I have on my, I don't know if I can see that on the video. Now on my CH Eclipse yoke, there's the little like butterfly toggles. I have that set up on here to go up and down. I have my regular trim on the left one and the heading bug on the right one. I don't know why we're not picking up some sound. Let's go to Boston Center and check in with these guys and see what they're... They might not be able to hear us out here. Maybe we just report at assigned altitude. Cessna 12 Bravo at 5,500.
Cessna 12 Bravo, good morning.
Alright.
Squawk 1200 altimeter 29990 at Caledonia County.
714, contact Bradley approach, 123.905.
1200, did that? Usually they give me the radar contact. Squawk 1200, Cessna 12 Bravo. And come on, I did. Well, at least I have the chatter going around in the background. The chatter is one of those interesting parts of Pilot to ATC. You download the sections that you want. If you want tower, if you want ground, if you want your arrival tower, arrival ground, center. The inconvenient part is it doesn't change. You have to go in, download it, which is okay. I guess it's part of the sim and part of the hobby, and you can do it for each specific airport that you're flying to. So if you want to start in Los Angeles, you can do all your departure frequencies for Los Angeles, and if you want to have all your arrival frequencies for Boston, you can do that. You can set them up basically 24 hours in the rear. So basically you can go back yesterday, add all those in, and that will give you some really accurate chatter for your flight. You could even take it a step further. You can not only can you download the chatter, but it's done in half-hour increments. So you could download for your departure and arrival times so that it's picking up at about the same time you would depart and you would arrive, which could give you even more immersion. It's kind of a neat thing. I have not updated mine in a little bit. Between all the X-plane updates and experimenting with a few other aircraft, just haven't taken the time to update it. It's pretty easy. Well, it's one of those little things that you just got to take a little bit of time and do. The scenery looks awesome. The overlay looks good. Check our gauges here. We're looking good here. Landing lights off. Don't need to have that thing on all the time. Now hopefully that we made contact with Boston Center. I will have full air traffic control along the way. I'm not an air traffic control master, so pilot to ATC has been very helpful. But because I don't know what I don't know, sometimes I'm unsure of who to contact at what time. Typically I know it's like ATIS, clearance, ground, tower, you know, then you reverse it.
Canada 0900, clear direct squad.
A lot of people like to quickly check in with my settings. Right now we're running pretty good on the graphics. One notch below, anti-aliasing is all the way up. I do draw shadows on scenery. I like that. And then if I'm near a location that has where I'm flying over a lot of water, I'd like to have the reflection detail. So I'll dial that in and, you know, do a couple trade-offs here and there. I was watching Bambino Gaming last night, and he did a whole bunch of ortho tiles, but he did it with the ZZZ height map, that method, and he didn't get overlay with the roads, so he doesn't get the night lighting and the cars and stuff. So he was going to experiment with that today to try to fix his overlays. I had originally started with that same method when I used X-Plane 10. And then I forgot how to do it, and then so I screwed up all my overlays. Then I decided to abandon the HD mesh and just went with the default mesh. So I'm using the X-Plane default mesh, and it's much simpler. It's much faster. The one thing I don't have that he had, and I'm not sure if I might even be able to do it, is where you have the zoom level more accurate, or, you know, in greater detail near the airports. So you save space when you're up above, and then as you get closer, it'll render out, you know, prettier scenery. I really like this livery with the lime green and with the black front. I think it's really fun. Let's see, get myself back in the cockpit.
Delta 66, contact Boston Center 128 points, correction.
Wow, that little reflection on that pond that we just went by, that was awesome. It's like little things like that that just make the simulation super fun. I had K. Adams 587 in the chat yesterday. He was teaching me. He's definitely got a lot of credentials, twin engine certified. I didn't jot down all his credentials, but definitely a qualified teacher, helping me with you know, my pattern work. I do the pattern work, but when you don't have an actual coach, you don't have your CFI sitting next to you, you know, you don't get critical feedback. So some of that feedback yesterday was just awesome. So on departure today, I tried to keep myself up at 74 knots, tried to get that, you know, the best rate of climb. I'm going to start working with the this book. It's the Visualized Flight Maneuvers Handbook, and the pages kind of pull out, so you get all different checklists, different maneuvers, how to perform them, what each part of the aircraft does, pre-flight, taxiing, starting. So if you really want to get into the super nerdy parts of the aviation, you can really get into each individual step. You know, it goes through right here, you know, saying make sure on takeoff, push in the right rudder. Pros and cons of pilot to ATC. One, there's a little bit of a learning curve. And it kind of, for me, it's really helped with kind of understanding the air traffic control system a little bit better. So that has been a great learning part. As you can, today I've actually have more stuff put in. I did our VOR points. I have us on GPS mode, so the GPS should flip us from these. And then what it did, I was avoiding the National Guard. I think it's the Vermont National Guard has a pretty big area. Pull it up on Sky Vector here. So to go direct to Boston, you would cut right through the Yankee MOA, so the military area of operations, military operations area. So I said, you know, let's go around that. So you know, I just did VORs down till we get closer, and then we're going to go direct into Boston. After the second VOR, I could have cut across. You know, and that would have been another set of radio communications to go through the Charlie for Manchester. M. Paul, welcome to the chat. M. Paul Lau. Talking about some of the pros and cons of pilot to ATC. I love the background chatter. So once you plug that stuff in, it really adds to that immersion. I don't know how well you guys can hear it, but if somebody didn't realize it was just recorded, you would kind of think that you're actually listening to air traffic control. So I love that part of it. Flight planning, the moving map, all this stuff is really cool. Dave, the developer, has been awesome. I've had, you know, questions about glitches, bugs, and some stuff that is entirely my fault. He's like, that's not how it works. Try it this way. And so I did, and I made my corrections. So I'm learning a little bit more proper, you know, to put myself into a better position for, you know, when you want to start to venture, maybe with online. That's another thing. Sometimes there are no online controllers, so now you always have positive control wherever you go using pilot to ATC. One of the things everybody does is traffic patterns. So pilot to ATC will walk you through your traffic pattern. You start with, you know, your ATIS. And this is where I worked with Dave, the developer, on understanding exactly what the procedures are. You don't need to do any kind of flight planning. You don't need to put up anything up in the flight plan dialog box. You just, once you have your weather, you tell ground you're ready to taxi. Once you get to your departure, you tell ground will turn you over to departure. Then you say just you know, Cessna 12 Bravo's to remain in pattern. It will give you the pattern instructions, whether you make right traffic, left traffic. Excuse me. And then you call your downwind, or you call your final leg, and you say 12 Bravo, touch and go, runway 34, and it'll say, it'll give you the wind and say cleared for the option 34, and then you say cleared for the option 34. So that, you know, that's a pretty simple and a direct translation of something that I that I have used on VATSIM network. He does have his free 10-day trial too, so you can give it a little go. I do have some, I think, Magic Norm on my YouTube channel about some of the using it. I replicated the Boston Virtual VFR Flight 1 from Nantucket to Quonset. That one went really successfully. Had all the appropriate handoffs. I gave all the right responses. When you get really comfortable with Pilot to ATC and you learn the vocabulary and you learn to understand what it needs to say, you can pretty much turn it off and hide it and just do complete voice operated commands. Right now when I get stuck, there's this thing called the speech assistant. So while I'm on the Boston Center frequency, it gives me the possibilities of stuff that I should be saying. Like right now I could probably just report in my current altitude, but I'm not sure why that is not on there. So see, there's still some mysterious things that Boston Center. I'm just going to see if I can find this. Make sure I'm on the right frequency. 135.7. Check my aircraft. 135.7. Let's see. So I can ask for my last transmission, and then if you're not a native English speaker, you can actually train it to understand you. There's a big training program that you can go through with the say it functions.
Say again for Cessna 12 Bravo. Cessna 12 Bravo, good morning. Squawk 1200 altimeter 29990 at Caledonia County.
Yeah, one of the great things about X-Plane and their philosophy, it's that it's ready when it's ready. When is VR going to be here? When it's ready. When is their new air traffic control system going to be here? When it's ready. It's a great thing, but then again, it's a little bit maddening when you're on the edge of doing something. Right now, I'm using default weather. I'm using the NOAA plugin. Currently not, because the weather around here is crappy today. Do I buy XEnviro? Do I buy SkyMax Pro? Or do I wait for Active Sky? Because that's another rumor, Active Sky coming to X-Plane. So I'm in that same position about my weather engine and how I want to approach it. I'm going to stick it out. The default's not killing me. People that have XEnviro that bought in early, they're like, the development's a little too slow on the pace. Again, I can't imagine how tricky it is from a developer's point of view to get and to render out things volumetric, three-dimensional, to have all the cool stuff that people want with their weather. So I'm kind of holding. Right now I'm like, it's not bad. It's pretty. I'll take that. I'll take this reasonably looking clouds. Yeah, we could be waiting a while for the air traffic control. I'm pretty sure with Fly Inside coming out with this, they're developing their own simulator. I think X-Plane wants to come up with something that's going to be really good, or be really smooth. So I think that's really probably Austin's focus right now for the team, is cleaning this up and getting it as good as possible for VR. Again, watch Bambino Gaming with his VR and X-Plane with Fly Inside. It's awesome. So I think this hopefully will just automatically go to my next waypoint. Good, it is going to automatically turn me.
Southwest 279, you can cancel with me, you are on ground 126.
Good, then pilot to ATC flipped over on the waypoint. So what I did, I route planned in SkyVector first. I can show you that. It is. Yeah, you know, you spend $60 on the weather engine or thereabouts, wait for X-Plane to come out with it. You know, where do you want to spend your money? Do you want to buy a headset and not have to buy monitors in that part of the investment? Do you want to have, you know, put your money into aircraft? If you haven't seen the Just Flight Piper Arrow 3, it makes this aircraft look horrible. And I love the interior of the airfoil labs, but when you go into that Just Flight Arrow, it's ruined pretty much every other aircraft in what they look like. Back to route planning. So I planned it in SkyVector, and then I took the SkyVector stuff and then I put it into the pilot to ATC, and then I put in the waypoints in the 430. I think there is a way I can save it. The frames per second, pilot to ATC doesn't really impact the frames per second. It's minimal. What kind of impacts my frames per second is World Traffic 3. When I have that really cranked up, that hits the frames per second. You know, and as you go up on these sliders, like right now, I probably could go up in this area. There's not a lot of buildings being rendered, so I could probably go up and still have a really nice smooth 30 frames a second, because I'm up at 40s right now. So I wouldn't worry about the frames per second on that. That was the other thing, like people with like X Enviro and stuff and SkyMax trying to figure out the performance hit. My CPU is a 6700K. I'm using the overclock Genie, and it's conservative. It's at like 4.3. People definitely seem like they're getting 4.5 with no problem. I'm just not, into pushing it that much. I'm using a 1080 GTX 1080 card, and I'm using the what's the name of it? It's got the little jet thing. So I slightly overclocked the graphics card. I think I run it at like 100. Let me see if I can find that. See if that's on the. 33.42. It is the MSI Afterburner. Let me pull that up. So here's the MSI Afterburner. Make sure that, yeah, okay, that's on the screen. So what I did, I went up on the power limit a little bit, and I went up a little bit on the memory clock. I'm letting it control the fan speeds, so it's slightly improved. Again, I'm being conservative. I don't want to kill this thing. I want it to last me a few years. Yeah, and ortho I think hits the frames a tiny bit too, but not. I'm going to say it's not significant enough of a trade-off to not warrant having ortho scenery. Yeah, Magic Gnome, do me a favor too. If you hit the follow button on Twitch, that would help me out. I'm a little over halfway to being able to become an affiliate. You need 50 followers. But if you already are, thank you very much.
Ukraine National 332 Boston, Roger, climb, maintain travel 330.
So let me take a look at my time. Probably got a solid hour left, at least in this flight.
What's on board, Boston, hello?
9 minutes till the next leg. Oh, cool. Thank you very much. Good, good, good. Yeah, Bambino Gaming asked if I wanted to do part of a general aviation group on Twitch, but you have to have 50 followers. So that's why I was double checking. Normally I almost don't even say anything. I just kind of let everybody, if they like it. I think most people are savvy enough to hit the button. And those that are, you know, just kind of casually observe and just kind of come and go. Yeah, somebody from, I think it was Kenya, Africa, was watching for a little while. Kind of fun. I couldn't even hazard a guess at what time it would have been there. Let's see, I'm in Eastern U.S., so it's 12:30. There's a, you know, what, probably 7-8 hours ahead, I would think. Let's see, yesterday I was streaming in mid-afternoon Eastern time. I think I started around 2 o'clock. So it must have been pretty late. Probably hit these RPMs a tiny bit more. Yeah, we had a, you know, there was a little discussion about flight sim economy the other night, and it's super fun, like add-on into the game, you know, for free. It's, you know, it's well worth the little bit of extra, you know, flying with a purpose, I guess. But I came up to the thing, if, you know, if I'd be willing to pay, you know, $25 a year if they kept it up and overhauled it, and, you know, add a couple of little things that some of the stuff that people have suggested, you know, a little bit beyond my scope, but cool plugin, super cool. Yeah, this is kind of New England at its best right here. This is, we got to be coming in towards southern Vermont. Lots of trees, lots of cows. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome part of the country. Typically, we don't get major floods, hurricanes. We don't get a lot of big wildfires like they have in Southern California right now. That's gotta really suck. It's pretty. We get all 4 seasons. Tomorrow we're gonna have 3 to 7 inches of snow. but it's been pretty mild so far. Let's see, I can probably go over some of the pieces of pilot to ATC, like the configuration. So pretty much the configuration, like the first one, pilot to air traffic control setup. The only thing I changed, I think I put Cessna 212 Bravo in. Let's see, this was auto-filled on this one. And I think if you want down here, pilot to ATC to provide the ATIS, that would be pretty interesting. I have not tried that because now that I'm using the NOAA weather, I'm kind of going with the real weather at the locations most of the time. But if using the sim weather, having pilot to ATC, it might be more accurate, especially when you're changing the weather. These are really just tolerances, so you can kind of change how the variance is before air traffic control chimes in. This is where you put the chatter files. You can put them up as like single files. You can organize them by countries. I do mine. I have it kind of organized by an airport folder. Even though one of these, I think because I have it in all sounds, I get a weird overlap at times. Some people recommend cranking this up to a longer delay in between playbacks for your sections. Voices, there's only David and Zyra, I think, are the two voices that come with Windows. There is a place that you can buy more voices, and you can buy them with different accents and stuff. So if you want to simulate flying in like a Latin American country where you want a Spanish accented person, you can do that too. Never messed with the speech recognition. You can have a co-pilot too. So I can click on the co-pilot. He'll respond to the radio, and he'll change the frequencies as needed. I've kind of left that up to myself as like the single solo Cessna 172 pilot. But I know fair for you to envy. When he uses pilot to ATC, he's using he started using this, and then he went to the co-pilot that you talk to. The name is escaping me on that one at the moment. So you get traffic alerts, the different flight plans. So you can import, export, stuff that I've never really touched. I have the NOAA weather as the weather source, and then you just kind of tell it where your NOAA plugin is. Buttons is a little bit tricky too, like setting up the push to talk. I do think you need FSUIPC. It's been a while since I had to set that up, but then I just set my joystick to 0, and you can see it pops up here under the T for push to talk. Awesome. I'll upload this to YouTube later on. Have a great afternoon. Thanks again for stopping by the channel. Have a great afternoon. Turning. Estimated time en route. We got about 50 minutes left. No, we don't want to exit. I just want to move it to a different part of my screen. everything's looking good. Temperatures are still good. Pressure, fuel flow. I don't know if I can raise up the EGT. Gotta even be a little bit more economical. Yeah, thanks, Magic Norm. That's probably close. I can probably might be able to peek this out right on the line. It's going up. Let's see if it settles. Yeah, the guy that figured out the exhaust gas temperature and its relationship to maximum fuel burning, that guy was pretty genius. I forget where I read that, but I read that that's like one of the things that was discovered had some kind of relationship to making everything more fuel efficient. So let's see, so we're on our third leg. We got about a half an hour in this leg, and then we got about a half an hour, 40 minutes into Boston. I'm hoping air traffic control picks us back up. Check the cell phone. Let's see, uncertified pilot. He just made a video for sim coders, so we'll probably definitely get to see some rep there. Other than that, that seems like all the news that's come across on my Discord. Marcus MMC is on Pilot Edge at 11. He's probably still online. So we got this thing, check my RPMs. I'm going, that's, we're in the green. I'll take that with that fuel consumption. I'll take a little bit of, a little bit more than 110. So this looks like, the light's changing a little bit. Looks like we're getting brighter. This tile could have been done in the fall too. This could have been logging. That cop car seems a little bit bright from this distance. But hey, those LEDs, they're pretty bright. It's going to get somebody.
Southwest 279, level 232, descending to 190.
I really can't wait to get a VR headset. If I don't get one for Christmas, I think I'll get one for my birthday.
We do, thank you. Thank you.
Time to do a little internet check here. Let's see, there's still no controllers online in the Northeast. One over in Dulles, that's our closest controller. Looks like Atlanta Center's online. I use VATtastic if you want to see who's on the VATSIM network. I just like to kind of keep a little eye on that. Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah, not too much going on in on the social media currently today. There's an interesting question about on the flight sim economy group. Says new to flying,
133.45.
and even when I get to fly, he only has a little bit of time between, you know, grandkids and stuff and work. What's the minimum time I would need to know before I can join flight sim economy for fun? Seems to recommend, like, you know, between 10 and 20 hours. Say. What did I say? Lots of tutorials on FSA?
Tower 011, contact Boston Center 128.2. Tower 011, affirmative 1282. Should I step on somebody? Tower 011, contact Boston Center 128.2. Tower 011, contact Boston Center 128.2. Contact Boston Center 118.42.
Checking the gauges.
Southwest 279, descend and maintain 11000, Providence altimeter 3009.
These look good. Good. EGT's been nice and steady. Got 20 more minutes or less on this leg. 17 according to the GPS. It's good. So you got a The frames have been really steady today. It's been nice. Of course, I haven't hit any major cities yet, so I'm, you know, they've been steady. There's not been, you know, crazy wild fluctuations up and down. The only really little hesitation that I noticed was a scenery load. I haven't checked the world traffic radar in a while. I'm not even sure currently where I'm at. Let me take a look under Sky Vector. I'm in my third leg. I'm probably near Marlborough, Mass. Let's see if I can find... Oh, it might even be... We'll be going over Keene. K-E-E-N. See if I can take a look there. Select. Yeah, that's us coming over. That's Keene. So we're north of Keene. Heading north of Keene. Let's see. This is 10, 20, 30 nautical miles. We have company all over the place. It's pretty cool. I definitely like what world traffic adds to X-Plane. Let's see, so pick up some VFR landmarks. We got that. We got a kind of a peak over here. Take a look on Sky Vector and see if I can
Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 2, correction, climb and maintain flight level 330.
we got two airports we're going to be going between. We're going to be going through Claremont should be on our right and Parlin will be on our left. Let's take a look and see. Okay, so we just went by those, so we should be over Leominster and East Leominster should be pretty much below us down here. The peak looks like East Washington, like it's somewhere in East Washington.
10 degrees right, 10 5000, runway 34, 270.
Take the outside view again. Let's take this from the nearest airport. Not seeing us. We can toggle the X button. This is pretty cool modeling right here too. I think a little bit of the exhaust heat. Or is that just propeller wash? No, I think that's exhaust heat. If we want to get all showmanship, we can hit the X button, go with the air show smoke. Looks like we're having engine troubles. See the trim tab. Got a little deflection there. Pitot-static port. I think they really modeled this aircraft really well. The reflection in the cone. I don't know if this pushes us away more. Yeah, there we go. So pretty. We're flying the Victor Airway, Victor 151. Excuse me, that too. So if you're keeping track at home, might have had somebody reply to my flight sim economy post. Nope. Back in the aircraft. Click on my screen. Back in the aircraft. There we go. So if everything goes well, we're going to make 18, couple grand, 2,500. The Boston fees, I think, are pretty pricey.
Also 008, contact Boston, center 133.42. Southwest 279, fly heading 145.
Cruising along.
Boston Center, good evening, LA Debbie, out of the level 00, flight 330. Allow 008, Boston, center, hello.
Wow, somebody, that HD Mesh 4, wow, that looks phenomenal. Somebody just got some computer screenshots for it. Looks good. I'm going to go with the, I think, for me, I'm going to stay simpler and not have to worry about downloading all the meshes and stuff like that. If it was simpler, like you could just go get a hard drive somewhere, I might do that and then update, but yeah, not too much on social media. What's next? Doing well here. Coming up over Keene. Keene's a pretty big airport. If I had any concerns about fuel, I probably would have stopped here. But it's looking really good. So no need to fuss with fuel. This aircraft in Flight Sim Economy, when I bought this Cessna 172, I did a complete engine replacement. So I should have very little issues with any big failures or anything.
Disregard the previous restriction and suspect 23. Thanks for checking.
When I bought the Piper Tri-Pacer, I didn't buy them to make money. I bought them mostly just to have for fun in the game. I didn't change the engine. I just did the 100-hour check and reset that. So if you want to fly November 212 Bravo, that's typically in the Northeast. If you want to fly November 213 Bravo, the Tri-Pacer, that's out in Washington State. Currently, I think it's at KRNT. Romeo November Tango. when I look around left to right, I'm using the CH Eclipse, which has the pedals in the middle, so I'm able to move over. But that being said, there are certain spots where it's a little bit noisy and it kind of flickers a little bit. So the steadier I am, and when I hold it, it will eventually stabilize. Is that some kind of trail down there? Take a look at that. Power lines.
Delta 539 Boston Center, hello. Delta 379 again, you can't both me or on ground. 126.65.
Cruising over Keene.
Right, have a good night. Contact Boston Center 138.2.
A little bit of rural auto gen right there, a few houses. The air pressure must have changed, or something has been adjusted, or not sure why the EGT went down. With it. Hey, Megamass72, welcome to the chat today. Doing a little flight sim economy from kind of northern Vermont to Boston. Just kind of plugged in some the VORs, flying over Keene. The next leg, about 40 minutes from here to Boston from Keene.
Ukraine National 232 Boston, Roger, climb, maintain level 330.
Alright, the air traffic control is pilot to ATC.
What's on board, Boston, hello?
So I have all the waypoints plugged in the pilot to ATC also. So it's kind of following us along at the same time the GPS is, so we got the moving map. Isbar70, welcome to the channel. Yeah, we had a little discussion earlier about some of the, the pros and cons of pilot to ATC. Some of it's the learning curve and knowing what things to select. We must have just had a scenery draw right there. That's the biggest drop in frames that I've had. And let's say I've been on here for probably a solid hour. I do like it. And it's I think as complicated as you want to make it. So I think if you're into VFR, or excuse me, IFR, I think you can put in all your SIDS and stars and all the IFR stuff that you want, and boom, you go. I kind of use it a little bit simpler, that I mostly fly, VFR stuff. But it does have a 10-day trial. I do like the fact that you can add chatter to the background, and you can put, you download from liveatc.net chatter, and you can do it from your arrival airport and your departure airport, so you can kind of get real actual sounds. You can pick the time of day, so if you want to plan your flight, how accurate is it? I think it's pretty accurate as far as much as I know. So with kind of my limited knowledge base, I feel like it's pretty good. Not sure if there's one of the reasons why I like to stream it is that not many people are streaming it. I've seen a few people use it with jet flights and stuff, so I think it's got to have some legitimacy to it. It does have a 10-day trial. I don't know if I said that. And Dave, the developer, has been super awesome about answering any questions. And I think it's as accurate as your AirAct data too. So currently my data, I have never updated it, so I'm using old data. And I think actually Pilot to ATC is slightly newer than what's in X-Plane. So the couple times that I've tried to, checked a couple things out of Boston, a couple of the departures there were more departures within Pilot to ATC than were actually in my GPS. So again, the hobby part of the sim is, updating your AirAct data, having what is it, a Navigraph subscription. It's different. It's got some similarities to 4Flight, like with the moving map, but 4Flight definitely is more. It's 4Flight doesn't do the air traffic control part, but it does all the real-world flight stuff. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna jot down Mature Gamer and see how he's using it. So pretty. It's not going to be pretty tomorrow around here in New England. We're going to get that 3 to 7 inches of snow. Be pretty for a few minutes and then get aggravated with the way people drive. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take, actually I just flipped over to my web browser. I'm going to type that in.
Very much TJ Honorable. I am Frodan. I'm here on the Trade Tonight desk, joined by members.
Is that Mature Gamer HD or Mature Gamer Man?
I have Tyler, a new addition to Complexity for this season. We have Crane and Bunny Hopper, who are part of their respective squads in Season 1. So I'm going to go ahead and ask the first question to the newcomer, Tyler. How are you feeling adjusting live in person in the studio? Do you feel ready to go for the competition?
I feel ready. I mean, I'm on 4
It's
hours
funny,
two big puppies, but I feel ready.
Not sure why the Twitch volume won't go off.
Jet lag, or is it because you're just been testing and playing?
No, because we've
Go
been playing all day.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I'll try that this way. Twitch TV. And then if I go to my
So I'm sure you feel right at home.
channel, I can EV. Nope, that's going to be a headache. Alright. Eyesbar70, thank you for coming by. Hopefully we see you again.
Strength that you were in Season 1, or
And there's the mute button. I thought you could mute on a Windows machine up top there. Mature Gamer. Okay, Mature Gamer HD. Cool, I'll follow that. Nice, yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out and see how he's using it. Maybe we can, help each other out with different stuff. And I think if you're, have real-world experience with air traffic control, your opinion of it may be different. But because I don't have that kind of experience, still learning. That's kind of like, when somebody really likes something, you got to figure out where they're coming from. Are they coming from a position of, hey, I'm a long-time air traffic control user, it's nothing like even close? or yeah, I'm a long time air traffic control user, and yeah, it's a good learning tool. Or if you're coming from a position of not really knowing anything, going, wow, I've learned a lot. It's helped out with a bunch of things, and it's added to the overall experience of using the simulator. Yeah, I think also the more you train it with your voice, okay, so wow, that'll be a time difference. I'll have to watch him at midnight when he's watching me at noon. That's one of the cool things about, you know, the online stuff. Somebody in the chat yesterday was from Africa. Back just a tiny bit.
Bravo Quebec, connect New York approach 120.8.
Yeah, no, I think if you do enough on the internet, you know where those typos are and kind of what the autocorrect. I'm pretty good at deciphering some autocorrect sometimes. And that doesn't make sense. I know where they are. I know what they're sort of trying to say. And then you're like, oh yeah, I can translate that autocorrect. Autocorrect is the new uncrackable code. Something the CIA should try doing for coded messages. Just use autocorrect. I'm not sure if there's, like, if I have any noticeable changes, because this is the full release of X-Plane 11.1 compared to yesterday or the day before. Okay, no, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good if I catch them on Eastern time. I kind of want to ramp up my flight sim economy, but my moneymaker, the 208, last time I flew it, the flight dynamics, because I have the first version, the dynamics didn't seem all that correct. It seemed very sensitive, and I was like,
Delta 66, how'd you ride at 350?
because that one you were able to, you know, bring in $4 or $5 grand sometimes per flight. That's a pretty little lake.
Canada 0900, Frederick Squad.
No, actually, it's 11.1. 11.10. I think all the 11.3s were all leading up to 11.1. So here's the here's the headline. So when you launch X-Plane, it should automatically update for you. It started yesterday or early this morning, I think, in Europe, and they've kind of been rolling it out. so it doesn't overrun the server.
Thank you. Contact New York Center 133.5.
So this some of the highlights here. Yeah, FS Economies it's super fun. Somebody was just asking some questions about it in on the FSE Facebook page. Yeah, we're doing an economy run right now. We're flying from Vermont to Boston. My economy name is DROGGI, Drogi. I really should probably change that. I gotta get all my social media and all my older screen names all updated to Squawking1200. I think my battlefield name is Squawking1200 something or other. I think I have some numbers after it. But yeah, this is what we're doing today. I'm part of Air Squirrel, and then part of Keystone Aviation. That's a group that flies primarily in like Eastern Oregon, Idaho. His name is I think Heathen. Does a lot of bush flying. I think he's got an Otter. He's got a PA-28. I think he's got a Piper Cub. So he's got all kinds of bush aircraft. I'm gonna check that note on the economy page.
133.45.
I am located in Connecticut. Pretty much central Connecticut. It's pretty funny. The Flight Sim Economy Facebook page. One guy's response was, "Join FS Economy pretty much if you don't want to ever see your family again." A pretty funny comment.
Tower 011, contact Boston Center 128.2.
So I'm not sure. The chatter just reminded me, like, when do you contact Boston Center? I probably should tell them I'm inbound. So I'm going to try to find that on the pilot to ATC here. I'm going to go to the speech assistant. I'm going to say, do I want anonymous report? I'm going to say, I'm going to ask for approach. And I think I'm going to ask for, I'm going to request radar vectors for the visual straight in. I'm not even sure what runway. Maybe it'll tell me.
Cessna 12 Bravo inbound at 5,500 feet. Request radar vectors for visual straight into runway.
Yeah, see, it didn't like that. I wonder if I say, because I'm VFR, pattern entry would be better. I'm going to say the active.
Cessna 12 Bravo inbound at 5,500 feet for visual straight in runway 33 right.
So it's probably going to have me land on 33 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo squawk 1200 visual straight in approved. Call 5 mile final for runway 33 right, descend and maintain 4,300 feet, altimeter 3005.
So I'll do my read back.
Cleared for visual straight in runway 33 right, descend and maintain 4,300 feet, Cessna 12 Bravo.
So I'll go down to 4,300. Arm that. Let's see, yeah, use the... I've not flown much in the King Air. I just tried it a few times. I definitely love the Caravan. I would, you know, having to upgrade my Coronado Caravan and paying some more money. I got this one. I got the Piper Tri-Pacer. Now I have the new Just Flight, the Piper Arrow, which is phenomenal.
Contact Boston Center 118.42.
Yeah, I haven't gotten really into flying IFR. I'm still, you know, trying to learn, you know, using the departures and trying to get that stuff set up.
WS279, descend and maintain 11,000, Providence altimeter 3009.
Like I practiced the Boston Lobster 2 or 4 or something like that, which, you know, just come off of one of the runways, turn a couple degrees left, fly up to whatever the waypoint is, reach that waypoint at like 2,500 feet and then head north. So that one I started understanding. And let's see, hopefully this the arming actually worked and I level off at 4,300. The altimeter should be the same, 3005. Now it changed a little bit. Good. That's nice that it's all working. It said call 5 mile final. Runway 33. We probably should figure out where that is in Boston. Sky Vector. Airport diagram. 33 right. That's the little one. That's the really little one. I can show you guys. So 33 right is this puny little runway. So I'm coming in from this side. I'm coming in from the west. I should probably enter over here.
Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 2. Correction, climb and maintain flight
Fly
level
over this way and enter. So where did you fly today? Which, what location?
Degrees right, 10,500, runway 34, 270.
wonder if this has a... Alright, so I found the light visual. So I'm going to assume that's light aircraft visual for... Actually, I want 3-3 right. I wonder if there's a 3-3 right. Nope, not for these little guys. Maybe. Yeah, that's a way to... Before GPS, man, you had to definitely be on the ball. Those are the arrivals. I'm just gonna fly it in there. Yeah, IFR, you know, to me the part about that is just learning how to, you know, to interpret the charts. You know, that's I think having that kind of holds me up a little bit. Some of them I think I got a kind of a good understanding of them. Other times I'm going, I'm not sure about this at all. So we're probably going to start seeing some frames decrease here. That's awesome. That's like this looks so good from up here. Sand pit. So let's see, coming into 3-3, I probably should head up and come in here somewhere and then come around. I wonder if it would give me vectors. Not missed approach. Here's a vectors visual to this along. I gotta stretch the to 3-3 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo inbound at 5,500 feet. Request radar vectors for visual straight into runway 33 right.
This could be better.
Cessna 12 Bravo Squawk 4360 turn right heading 140 vectors to the straight in approach for runway 33 right at Logan International.
And
Cessna 12 Bravo radar contact. Contact Boston approach on 118.25. Enjoy.
so approach on 11825. Squawk 34 heading 140. So I'm going to turn this to heading mode. No, I don't want that much. 140. Then it said 11825.
1008, contact Boston Center 133.42.
I gotta do that read back before I forget.
Fly heading 145.
Approach on 11. Aircraft calling center, say again with your call sign.
See, it jumped ahead a tiny bit there. I don't think I completed my read back. 11825. Cessna 12 Bravo, level 4,300.
Cessna 12 Bravo, good morning. Radar contact. Cessna 12 Bravo, turn right heading 145.
Heading 145, Cessna 12 Bravo. check it against this. Come on. Hey, Miguel 747, welcome to the channel. Think. Move it over a tiny bit. 43, 44. Good. We're getting the radar vectors to land into Boston. Doing a little flight sim economy. Gonna make a couple $1,000s here. Taking 3 passengers. Taking them to get some alcoholic beverages in Boston. That's all they've told me. They're not going to tell me too much more. I'm guessing they're going to be up for getting into some trouble. We're using X-Plane 1110. Bye, Miguel. Thanks for stopping by briefly. So, with pilot to ATC, oh, good. Yeah, I've been in and out of flight simulation too. So the last like 2 years, I started getting back into it. In like the last year and a half or so, I really started getting into it. Once I kind of discovered the online community and stuff, I said, wow, this is super cool and super fun. Once, good contact has been made, and now we're on, you see this turned yellow for our approach into Boston. It probably has the rest of, where our vectors will be. So even Boston's up there, it's going to bring us way around and come on up. I'm just hauling 3 in the Cessna 172. I don't know. Let me see. What are their names? They're just New England passengers. I kind of like the more creative, when people name them creatively. I might do, after this I might take a little bit of a break and then come back and do some more.
Turn left heading 140.
050.
Left 140, Cessna 12 Bravo.
W176.
140. It might have done a couple degrees too much there. Yeah, and I'm actually picking up a second part-time job. Right now I have a part-time job working at a university, and then in the summer and fall I photograph weddings and events, and that's pretty much over. So I'm getting a therapeutic recreation job at a nursing home. So it'll be all ages, but primarily geriatrics. This building almost looks like something out of Minecraft, the way it's kind of linked and blocked together. Then, I think these are some of the new generated buildings, some of the new artwork. Little golf course down there. Oh, big pause here in the sim. Must be a scenery load. Yeah, we went from averaging 39 to averaging 20. I'm just hauling 3. Just 3 people. Let's see. Can pop that up on the screen. Each one's paying $900, which was pretty good. I mean, it's a 2-hour flight or so. You know, after Boston gets its fees, make a couple grand on that. And this is my own aircraft, so I don't have to pay rental.
JetBlue 176, turn left wing 33.
There's some World Traffic 3. That's fun. See, when I see Fenway Park, I'm going to throw a little bit of Yankees disdain at the Red Sox.
We'll expect that scan with 4838. JetBlue 176, quick visual approach runway 24.
So let's see, with the
120.3, have a good night.
I don't know if this causes a sim reload. I gotta move this out of the way, see which chat is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it too. I think it's, yeah, I just reduced the object, so I'm gonna see if that improves our frames per second. Still around the cities, the autogen I think hits these things pretty hard. This is something that I had an interest in a while ago, and then I got busy. You know, I signed up and enrolled in like the therapeutic rec program at the local community college, and then I got busy, so I never like really pursued it further than just signing up for it. So now it's a per diem gig too, so it's kind of as they have hours and as I have time. I think it's going to be a lot of like covering for people while they're on vacations, you know, when they want those Fridays and Saturdays off. Hopefully this fixes our frames per second issue. You know, I want to drop into Boston and have the thing start stuttering at like 12, 15. Let's see what that did too. I'll let it catch back up. Okay, good. Back up to close to 30. I'll take that. Might even go a tiny bit higher once it settles. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, nursing is an amazing profession too. You know, anytime you got to deal with people that are not in a great state. I have a 1080, a GTX 1080. Chase the Great 34, welcome to the channel. You are about to catch the best part of Squawking1200 when I attempt to land the Airfoil Labs 172. Hopefully my tips from, what was his name from yesterday? K Adams 587 will pay off. Had a pilot in the stream yesterday. Gave me some tips on my pattern work and about some of my approach speeds. That might be Fenway Park right down there. We're going to shout out a little bit of Yankee hatred down there. The bums. At least we beat them in the season series and went deep into the playoffs this year. I had Mr. X Boston, but I changed that. Yeah, the 1080 I think it's a great solid card. So we have this puny little runway right down there. I've had no complaints with it. I have this
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn right heading 145.
Turn right heading 145, Cessna 12 Bravo. I think now the bottleneck is almost at the CPU level. When, you know, like I had to turn down the CPU component, and the graphics component is still not working that hard. I can probably go up on the HDR or the texture and probably keep the same frames per second. But flying over Boston, one notch down on max objects, this still looks really good. And yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think this is really, it looks really good. You know, it's a little light on traffic, but I think that's a known X-plane thing where they're trying to balance out the number of cars. Yeah, the 1080 Ti would be nice. But probably by the time I get around to the next card or processor, I probably would almost want to go with a whole nother setup and get, like, what is it? There's the new 8900 chip that I guess is supposed to be pretty good. I monitor the U.S. home flight simulators. I'm trying to see if I can find their link. This guy, I think he's in the Carolinas, Fred Barron. He's got an amazing sim pit. And I think he just changed out and went to that new chip. Yeah, about a year and a half ago. Actually up until about this time last year, I was running X-Plane on a Mac. I was running it on a quad core with a 3 gig graphics card. I think I'm going to reduce some of my altitude. If I can request that.
Cessna 12 Bravo request an en route descent.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that. If I can.
Skywest 4838, turn left on 060, descend and maintain 2,500. 2,500, Skywest 4838. Southwest 842, descend and maintain 4,000.
Copy and paste. I think that's the group.
Bravo, descend and maintain 4,000 feet, altimeter 3001 at Logan International. Cessna 12 Bravo, descend and maintain 3,300 feet.
Ooh, that was just a big change. Descend and maintain 3,300 feet, Cessna 12 Bravo.
Cessna 12 Bravo, maintain 3,300 feet.
Let's drop this down. Mine ran fine on a Mac. My issue was like, you know, the video card thing. I bought the biggest, most realistic video card that you could from MacSales.com. And you know, I could justify it because it would speed up my photo processing too. I'll see if I can call that up. It worked great. You know, I didn't really have much of a problem with it. But it was, you know, I was running X-Plane 10.5. See if I can find the video cards. Yeah, it's the Sapphire HD 7950 Mac Edition. And I put it in the computer I have is an 09 Mac. Card was like $450, and it's a 3 gig card. And the cool thing about it, I think it's Windows and Mac compatible. I think it's got a funky slider switch, They have actually some 1 gig cards that are used.
Skywest 4838, turn right heading 150. Skywest 4838.
Yeah, this other one, there's something else, but it's not as strong. Yeah, you're very limited in options for a Mac computer with graphics cards. That was one of the things that pushed me over to buying a PC. See where I'm at. Getting ready to turn to base. Descend.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn left heading 060, descend and maintain 3,200 feet.
What did it say? 060. So one of the cool things too is about the pilot to ATC is if you don't jot down what they're saying, you can go back and look at the message.
Turn right heading 210 on a sub-localizer, advise the airport in sight, 2 o'clock, 8.5 miles.
But that U.S. Home Flight Simulators group, amazing creations. Kind of where you just kind of shake your head and go.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn left heading 055.
Turn left heading 055, Cessna 12 Bravo. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn left heading 360, descend and maintain 3,100 feet, cleared for visual straight in approach runway 33 right, contact tower on 128.8. Good morning.
That's a mouthful on that readback.
Tower on 128.8, Cessna 12 Bravo.
They wanted me to turn to 360. And then 128.8.
Good evening. Visual 24.
Cessna 12 Bravo descending to 3,100.
Cessna 12 Bravo, good morning. Radar contact. Maintain heading 360.
Maintain 360, Cessna 12 Bravo.
Cessna 12 Bravo, maintain 3,100 feet.
3,100, Cessna 12 Bravo. So I think I missed the altimeter.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn left heading 355.
Turn left heading 355.
Heading 330, descend and maintain 2,800 feet, continue approach. Runway is 11 nautical miles.
Whew.
Call field in sight.
They say 2,800. Hang on. That's one thing I wish I had a panel. I didn't catch that last person on the follow. It said 2,800, I think. Down. Arm. Hey, Weasel Boy 66, welcome to the channel. Did that?
Heading 330, descend and maintain 2,800 feet, will call field inside Cessna 12 Bravo.
Okay, so I did miss the readback. I'll take that.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn left heading 320.
Turn left heading.
Cessna 12 Bravo, descend and maintain 2,000 feet.
Coming at me fast and furious here when I can't. Hang on, I gotta pause this stupid thing. Descend to maintain 2,000. That's the disadvantage of not having knobs. And then it said turn 320. 320. And descend. Hey, WOT, welcome back. Coming into Boston here. You're getting to see the exciting part. We're getting the vectors. I don't know why the aircraft is shaking all of a sudden. It's going good, but all of a sudden I'm getting shaky plane here. That's in. That's in. Don't tell me this thing is going to fail on final here. You guys might be in for some more fun.
And maintain 2,000 feet Cessna 12 Bravo.
Checking that read back. It didn't pick up my voice. And is that holding altitude hold? Let's see what the maintenance is. Oh, what the heck? Oh, this is going to be, there's a world traffic. So now I got cylinders breaking, my oil filters breaking, my oil quantity. I am using pilot to ATC.
Cessna 12 Bravo, turn right heading 330.
Turn right heading 330, Cessna 12 Bravo. Alright, that worked good. Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to answer any kind of questions about it that I can. We are going to be entering runway 33 right, which in Boston, it's a tiny little runway. I can show you. 33 right. Hopefully they kick us out over here a little bit and give us a little bit of an angle. Why am I stalling? What's going on? Alright. Autopilot. I gotta try to get rid of you. Oh, no, it is. It's the stupid cylinders. And it was trying to compensate. Fix those. Fix that. Good gravy. This thing's cruising along the last like 2 hours, and then all of a sudden decides to go crazy. There we go. I own 2, but it took a while to get those. Flaps in. Field in sight, Cessna 12 Bravo.
Cessna 12 Bravo, roger, winds are 270 at 9 knots, cleared to land runway 33 right.
So we got a left crosswind.
Cleared to land runway 33
Hey Tim
right,
J88, welcome.
12 Bravo.
Coming into Boston, little left-hand crosswind. What did he just say? Oh, he said clear to land. Yeah, the Twin Otter seems to be like a pretty popular one. I was making most of my money with the Caravan. But when Carenado entered the Caravan, when they updated it, I'm pretty sure the version, I have the one generation before that, not as good. Second notch of flaps here. Control some ballooning and airspeed. So yeah, last time I flew the 208, felt a little bit, it just felt weird. It didn't feel like the same as it did earlier. But actually, I was looking at the de Havilland stuff today while I was on the org. Yeah, if those were mostly like X-Plane 11 planes that I was interested in, I would be a little bit broker. There's some wind. Keep up my airspeed. Yeah, this is what everybody tunes in. It's like NASCAR. Here we are. Final lap. Let's see this guy Squawking1200 auger in and wreck his aircraft. Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that it was mostly X-Plane 10 products that were on sale. Hey, welcome to the chat. Was that Alisam Jones? Coming over the threshold. Need a little right rudder for that. Coming up. Where's my stall horn? Come on, baby. Ah, good landing. Wheel popped up a little bit.
Cessna 12 Bravo exit runway when able.
We'll take, let's see. That's a landing. We'll cross and we'll exit at the end here. Yeah, I'll have to check. It just, for some reason, I don't know if I hadn't flown it in a while and I wasn't used to it. Cessna 12 Bravo, clear of active.
Cessna 12 Bravo,
Thanks.
welcome to Logan International Contact Ground on 121.75. Enjoy your morning.
See, that's part of the pilot to ATC that I'm getting used to. As soon as I knew I said I was clear of 3-3 right or clear of the active, I knew I was going to have to take down the frequency. So I had my pen in my hand. And now with the beauty of pilot to ATC, we should find our gate pretty easily. So I'm going to request taxi to General Aviation. Cessna 12 Bravo, request taxi to General Aviation ramp.
Cessna 12 Bravo, taxi to General Aviation
Pencil.
parking via taxiways November. Kilo. Hold short runway 15 right.
Taxi via Foxtrot, Tango, Echo, Mike 1.
Taxi to General Aviation parking via taxiways November Kilo, hold short runway 15 right. Cessna 12 Bravo.
And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show us where to go. We'll hold short here at the 15.
Runway 5, yeah, Foxtrot, Tango, Echo, Mike 1, southwest.
Let's see, that's good. Throw a taxi light on. Can turn the strobe lights off. Whoa, nice. I'm glad I wasn't quite there yet. Yeah, that's World Traffic 3. Frame rates did drop. We just before you got into the channel, I dropped down the graphics setting one. We were getting like 18 to 20. Let's see, what am I? I'm holding short 15 to cross. Cessna 12 Bravo, holding short to cross runway 15.
Cessna 12 Bravo, contact tower on 128.8.
That's not. See, that's like a little screw up there. I'm not going to use the default that mesh. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to stay with the standard. It's simpler. So I was holding short to cross 15 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo ready to cross runway 15 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo, contact tower on 128.8.
I wonder why I want to see. That's where where pilot to ATC kind of just glitched out a little bit. I'm going to say waiting to cross 15 right. So this is where we're trying to learn the 15 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo waiting to cross runway 15 right.
Cessna 12 Bravo, contact tower on 128.8.
No reason to contact tower. I'm just going to stay with using the default mesh. It's a little easier. I used the height maps for X-plane like 10.5, and then I forgot how to do it, and then I screwed up all my ortho in X-plane 11 and had to redo it all. So I went with the simpler method that Digital Aviator Avanex shows. So you could just kind of point it to your global scenery.
Cessna 12 Bravo contact tower on 128.8.
128.8. Cessna 12 Bravo taxiing to general aviation parking. That's going to want me to go back to ground probably. I think general aviation is right in front of me here. Yeah, see, tower didn't say anything. But overall, the vectors coming in were really good. So I definitely give pilot to ATC a thumbs up today. Oh no, that's nice. Yeah, the other thing was downloading the 3D mesh. That took a while. But I've seen some screenshots from the version 4 and it is tempting. Again, it's maybe once I back this stuff up. And I learned a little trick today too, that if you're trying to do overlays for Seattle, they're not in the global scenery folder, they're in the demo area folder, so there'll be nothing to sniff at. Alright, so let's see, we are parked. Idle cutoff, brake, X economy, finish flight. Still got 23 gallons of fuel on board, nice. Let's see, I saw the link somewhere in the news feed. Searching for it. Hey, Sparky Online, thank you for stopping by. We'll see you around next time. Yeah, there you go. That's... I was looking for the link too. So let's see, there we have that flight. Now what? Let's take a look at the economy here and see what's in Boston. See what kind of aircraft are here. Banking? Oh, let's see. How did that finally pay? Move over some cash. I like to keep enough cash to cover my maintenance fees, the monthly maintenance fees in here. And let's see, airports. I wish that guy that was on Facebook would jump in. He was kind of interested in how this works. So we're going to go to Boston. Let's see what kind of aircraft are here first. See, no 208. bunch of de Havillands here that are in disrepair. That's what the red means, right? Wrong button. Back to here. Alright. Or red is not available for commercial use. I've flown this Meridian a bunch of times. I was flying it, I flew it across country, and I think I left it in like, something came up and I stopped flying across country. I left it somewhere in like the Midwest. I wonder if it's got the, if it has the track record for like, yeah, see, let's see. No, maybe it was a different one that I flew across country. Because that's LaGuardia, Boston, Rockland, Maine. This one holds like one extra passenger. Yeah, I rent them out. So I have the Piper Tri-Pacer out in out west. Let's see, where's aircraft? Yeah, if you want to, do you want to go fly one? I can reduce the fee. Put it on special for December 8th. Yeah, the Piper Tri-Pacer, that's out in Renton. It's right outside Seattle. There's usually trips to Friday Harbor from there, from Renton, which is up near this, just past the San Juan Islands, I think. It's pretty funny trying to, like, nobody really wants to rent a Cessna or a Piper Tri-Pacer. Basically, I got those for fun. Yeah, or they leave them without like barely any fuel in them. You know, that's the rental life. So let's see, I got 125,000. So I don't think there's anything. The next kind of aircraft purchase has to be, I think, something big. I think, you know, like the Caravan. I like that, the Thuranda one. But again, I'm not sure how many jobs would be for that, for the Albuquerque's one of the featured products today. Yeah, this one, the Kodiak Quest. This just looks phenomenal. You know, so if I was going to get like a heavy haul bush plane type of thing, but am I just going to wind up just having to fly and, you know, trying to find jobs for it? I still think, yeah, like, you know, the 208, what else is back in here? The Meridian's a fun aircraft, but it only holds, really doesn't hold much more than the Skyhawk because of the way the fuel load goes. It's one of those ones I was only able to put 4 or 5 in it once, but it was at like it was a short run. As soon as you start putting fuel in that one, it seemed like you were down to like 4 passengers. Let's see if we can find a Caravan around here. Let's see, that's in that other box. Sorry about that. All the scrolling make you guys dizzy. Airports that have 208 Caravan, rentable. See if there's anything in 100 miles from here. Portland, Maine. That's a good run. That's a pretty quick. But what's the assignment? Really? To Portugal? That's a big jet. See, yeah, see, there's the caravan's here, but it's stuck. There's no assignments. So I don't know if I want to be the nice guy and fly that to like an airport that's actually got some passengers. It's weird that Portland International doesn't have it. I haven't really done any of that. Really the payload thing, I just kind of go, is it when you rent the plane that has the little calculations table? Hey, Granddad John, welcome to the channel. So I just kind of use that one. In most of my aircraft, they've been general aviation, so I just, you know, just load them up. When in doubt, I'll load it up with fuel. Leave somebody with like a pay it forward. Wow, this one's got half a tank, 3/4 of a tank left. I think part of it is, I think that's, to me, that's sometimes the fun part of flight sim economy. You find a full, like, Cessna, you don't have to put fuel in it. Let's say, where was that other Cessna, the other Caravan? Hartness State, Springfield, Vermont. That's up there. It's probably a pretty solid trip. See why this one is from Europe. So it's privately owned, not for rent. And I think that, like in the some weird, I forget if it was this channel or with, you know, in yesterday with Bambino Gaming, or if it was just like a general chat somewhere, that, you know, updating the aircraft that are more appropriate for the current aircraft. A lot of people complain that most of the aircraft are like old FSX aircraft. Like Beechcraft Debonair. When was the last time somebody rented this thing? Right there. That tells you that's like that's a flaw in the game right there. 2005 was the last time that thing was flown. Hey, Sparky Online, welcome to the chat. We're just talking a little bit about flight sim economy. Trying to find a Caravan. Alright, back a page. We'll go 500 miles. So one was privately owned, and one had no assignments at the airport. So the one at Portland, Maine, which would have been great. Just no passengers. Alright, so here's a bunch. Those are the two closest. One in New Haven? Ah, hometown. 167 passengers. Alright, this is a pretty good gig. We'll take this one. And we'll go this one, this one, this one. We'll add those to our assignment. We will HVN. Tweed, New Haven. Let's see how this, where's my Caravan? That's weird. I wonder why they're not. shown at all. I wonder if I didn't load them. Hang on. Ugh. You know what? I may not have loaded. I may have been so aggravated about the flight dynamics. I may not have even reloaded it. Look on my desktop. That's the Cargo Master expansion. It's probably exactly what I did. There's my caravan. Put this into desktop. And then copy. Paste. Alright, so I'm probably going to have to reload the aircrafts. Alright, let's reload this thing. Start with the fresh sim. Then we'll go to Tweed, New Haven. The trip to trip shouldn't take that long. Wow, that loaded actually. That was new flight. How come the caravan didn't load? Oh boy, technical difficulties here on live. Of course I hit the wrong button. I was just going to back out of that. Yeah, that's a good thing about the community, helping each other out. Come on. I want to look in the peek in the folder, but it's not letting me. Must be behind X-Plane. Reading new scenery files. Kind of hanging up right there. It seems like that's taken a little bit longer than normal. Might have to take a little break and reconvene and like get a little bit of lunch. Okay, so it's in the right folder. Let's see, what's other stuff that I use? I use a lot of the libraries. I have a lot of the libraries. That would be in X-Plane. So I have all these. These are really my, you know, when we're looking at like add-ons. These prefabs are supposed to fix the mislabeling of the FS economy airports. All the single strip runways are supposed to all be pretty much all fixed and have proper exclusion zones. That should be pretty neat. And then all these different libraries is what I've used. I use X-Plane Realistic also. Not that one. The little airplane. Come on, I can do it. King Air, Piper, Piper. I'm going to have to investigate why the caravan is not loading. US West Life. I think I tried that one too. I have X camera, but I don't think I do enough with it to make it learnable. I didn't see it at the bottom. I got the Stinson, the Tri-Pacer. I got those old. Those are the older ones. Oh, bingo! Yeah, right there. It's the icon generating thing. Start new flight. Make sure we are in New Haven. Change location. KHVN. That aircraft and current flight. Airfoil could not be found. I dragged that one off of a cloud-based storage, so maybe I screwed it up. Crashola. Aircraft. Looks like the files are there. Might have to go on the org and re-download it. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's hang up. We'll reconvene hopefully at 3 o'clock. We'll do a little flight sim economy run. If you guys are game for coming back. If not, thank you guys for watching the channel. So let's do that. Let me get my caravan squared away. And then we'll take it from there. So what I'll do, I'll hang up now, and I'll do all this offline so you guys don't have to see me press all the wrong buttons and for your entertainment value. Let's see. So I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming by the channel. Megamass, Woot. Let's see who else was there. Sparky Online, Granddad John, Tim J88. Thank you very much. I'm gonna come back around 3 o'clock Eastern time, maybe a little bit sooner. Hopefully the Grand Caravan will be all ready and set back up. we'll take it from there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a little bit. And